Reinforcement or the steel bar is the main backbone of any concrete structure. Without the steel bar, it is impossible to make a robust structure like this because concrete is very weak in tensile and the tensile is taken force is taken by the steel. So the steel or the reinforcement is an integral part of a concrete. But there is always a limitation. What is the limitation? We are getting rebar at standard length of 12 meter, but our structure is more than the 12 meter. Then what we need to do? We need to splices or the joint. In this video, we will discuss about there are different types of joints. That is a overlap, that is a welding, and also the coupler. So stay tuned until the end to get the full information about the different types of overlapping on the concrete reinforcement. And if you're new in my channel, kindly subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get immediate notification. So let's start. What is the comparison? Lap, welding, and coupler. So first is the overlap or the lap. What is that? Overlapping two rebars and binding them together using the wear ties. That means whenever we need to splices, and also according to the splices zone, we cannot provide the lap in anywhere in the structure. According to the bending moment or according to the loading pattern of the structure, we need to find out which one is the lapping zone or the splices zone, and on that zone only we can make the splices. In this video, in these topics, I have made a detailed video about the splices zone in beam and column. Link is there or in the description. Please watch and you will get the full information about the splices zone in the structure. So first thing, overlapping two rebar. That means one rebar overlap with each other. That is called the overlap or the lap. It is commonly used in the structure. We are familiar with this. And another things, the welding, that is jointing two rebar using electric arc weldings. So this is the weld we are using. Mainly we are using whenever we are making the piling rebar, we make the using. So that is also using. And that is the third thing is the coupler. Use a threaded coupler to connect the two rebar. What is the rebar? That is, there is a coupler like this. There is a cylindrical item and inside the cylinder there is a threaded and the rebar also threaded, so it will tight each other and bond to rebar like this. So this is a threaded coupler or threaded the rebar and the thread itself, so it is binding together and make a homogeneous or a uniform material. So these are the mechanical coupler. So why there are three things we need to use? There is different criteria to selecting and where it can be used and which one is the better. Let's one by one we discuss and then we'll find out what is in a better and when we use a overlap, when we use the welding, and when we are doing the coupler. So area of use, typically used in a smaller structure and non-critical application. Overlap is only applicable when it is a small structure and non-critical applications. And welding, commonly used in prefabrication and industrial construction projects. In welding, always we have not as much as used in the rebar, but it is in the mild steel for whenever we're doing the steel structure or anything. But in the reinforcement, it is very rare to use in the welding. Although code IS 456 has the provision that's more than 36 we can use the welding, but it is always avoidable because whenever we do welding, there is a maybe loss of properties of the reinforcement can happen. So it is always avoidable. But in some cases, if you cannot, we can make it, but as per the requirement of IS 456. And couplers suitable for structural requiring high level of precision and load bearing. Now what is happening in the overlap, or what is happening, it is coming one after one. So the center of gravity or the center line of the one rebar and another rebar are not the same, it is separating. But whenever you are using the coupler, it is become a single straight line, so the load transfer directly from the one bar to another bar. And also it is not dependent on the grade of the concrete bar. The lap length is always dependent on the grade of the concrete and the bond strength. So it is always suitable for any type of concrete, and it is for the load transfer purpose also. It is used as a single bar and its a center of gravity or the center line is the same. So whatever the load is coming, it throughout it is transferred to the foundation. But in the lap and overlap, it is only for the smaller structure. Then what is the relevant IS code? Then for the overlap is IS 456 And the welding IS 275/9 1977, it's code of practice for welding of mild steel structure. And two is IS 9417/2018, welding of high strength steel bar for reinforced concrete constructions. And what is a coupler? Coupler is always the two things we need to know. What is the steel bar? That is IS 1786/2008, that is a high strength deformed bars and wires for concrete reinforcement. This one. And IS 16172/2023, reinforcement coupler for mechanical splices of steel bars in concrete specification. And also ISO 15835 part 1, part 2, part 3, that also to be incorporated in all the mechanical coupler, because it has defined what is really the length, how it will be mixing, what is the different types of coupler, and what is the test to be conducted, and how to select the coupler, and what will be the selection process, and how to make the bonding. That all everything is in the IS 17612. So these are the codes we need to follow in case of overlap, welding, or the coupler. Then advantage. What is the advantage of overlapping? Simple and cost effective, suitable for smaller diameter burrs. And simple because everybody can do that one. So you don't need the special skilled labor for the overlap or the lapping. But in the welding, provide a strong and direct connection suitable for high stress application, and you need to do the doing the welding with the approved welder, or the who is a certified welder. So you need a special type of people. And for the coupler, provides a reliable and efficient connection, reduces the congestion in reinforcement connection or concrete structure. What is happening in beam column junction or anywhere, or with the column whenever we are doing overlapping, because we have the splices zone only in the h/2 of the middle part of the column. But if it is a 32 mm, so these may be not adjusted within the h/2. What is happening? That the congestion will be there in the beam column junction, beam rod, column rod, beams, then the stirrups and everything. So we need to provide the development length. All are is there. So there may be a conjunction, and conjunction is happening due to the heavily reinforcement. And if it is happening, it is very, very difficult to pour the concrete. So in that case, if we use the coupler, what will happen? The congestion will be the less, and it will be load transfer will be directly from one bar to another bar, because the center line is the same. So it is always the advantage over the overlap and welding, that coupler is most suitable for any kind of projects if we are using. And if you think about the cost, that cost also it is less, because whenever we are dealing the overlap or in the welding, it gives the more more reinforcement, so the load also increase in the structure. So there is a, if the load is increased, then the foundation maybe height will be increased, or the dimension will be increased. So all has the effect on the cost. So maybe in initial we think that it is a cost is more, but if we think beyond that, we can find out it is a cost effective for the coupler, and also suitable for any kind of structure, and load bearing is also suitable. Then strength, depending on the overlap length, may have reduced strength compared to other methods. Provide strong connection, but heat affected zones can be affect material properties. So these are the drawback for the welding. And generally provided equal or greater strength compared to lapping. That means it is always coupler has that capacity to transfer the load without any distraction, because it has the simple things. Here you can see the coupler, it's a straight line from this bar to this bar, the load will transfer. But in the overlap, it is not happening. So strength also, we are getting more strength in the coupler. Then precision, susceptible for human error and may not be as precise. Then requires skill level for precise execution for the welding. Offers high precision and less dependent on workmanship, because it's all doing by the machine and everything. So it is not dependent on the category of the skill or the skill of the workman. Then cost, as I discussed, economical for small scale projects, because skill labor and specialized equipment can be costlier. Initial cost may be higher for the overlap as we think, but can be more economical considering reduced labor and increased efficiency. Also, it is increasing the load on the structure, which is also affecting the dimension of the structural element, which is also give the cost less in the project. So it is always advisable, if it is a congested area, if it is a more reinforcement is coming, or it is a high structure, its coupler is the only option. And congestion, as we discussed, increase congestion in concrete because one by one reinforcement we are placing and creates minimum congestion, but the property, as we said, that high strength can affect the material properties whenever we are doing the welding, and reduces congestion and simplifies construction. This is the ultimate. It is reducing the congestion, simplifying the construction process, reducing the weight and reducing the cost, and high precision and load bearing capacity. Everything is good for the coupler in compared to overlap and welding. But overlap also using in the small project, or welding also somewhere, as the IS code has given the provision, but it all not use exactly always in the construction of the reinforcement bar. But the coupler has all the effect or all the edge over the others, that this characteristics and everything is suitable for the construction. So these are the comparison between overlap and welding and the coupler, and I hope you can easily find out which one is better and you can use it for your project, so that your project will be also beneficial. And if you find this information is useful, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon, so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get immediate notification. And I'm waiting for your valuable comment, so that from your valuable comment, everybody will be benefited. And if you want to know anything more about construction and quality control, please let me know. I will come with more content like this. Thank you once again for watching me.